Jakey. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Or hey, Thanksgiving. Well, whatever. It's close enough. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing good.
Life's good? Everything's good?
Yeah, Barkley's good.
Oh, great. Good to hear. I'm sure someone will ask in the comments anyway.
I
Let's
like
get
I like
to
you're
it.
all white. The
Oh, there's
headphones
black
and
underneath.
well, the headphones with the hoodie.
Never thought about it like that. Thank you, Jake. And look at that. My notes are on a white piece of paper. That's right. Notes. You got some questions? Drop them off to the side underneath. I don't want to focus this entirely on Thanksgiving, but I think a lot of people might have some questions, and I think I'd like to point everybody. I'd like to direct everybody. I don't know like where it exists in the great world of things, but just Google Renee Miller Thanksgiving blind spot. She wrote an amazing article last year about how cognitive bias makes us sometimes want to start guys on Thanksgiving when we don't have to. Just because it's a good feeling, you're with friends, you're with family, your brain's thinking, this is great, I want to see my fantasy team do well, and it's amazing and incredible, and she's a neuroscientist, and everyone should, worship at the altar.
Well, it goes for DFS too. A lot of people don't usually wait for the night game, despite that they should. They'll have that late swap option because they want to see the points in their lineup already.
Well, here's an interesting thing that I found as I was doing some research on the Thanksgiving numbers. Through the whole
that was a really fun
day.
article, by the way.
Hey, thanks, Jake. The Fox game in the last 5 years has always hit the over for those of you who gamble out there. The NBC game has always hit the under, and the CBS game has been mostly under. So it's interesting. Like the NBC game does not score a lot of points, and if you go through, I think the top 50 or 25 at least PPR scores since 2012. Only like 4 NBC game guys pop up in there too. So something to think about, Jake.
It's worth noting. I mean, it's kind of hard to put too much weight into it, but with that kind of consistency, it's interesting.
So Jake, Gus Edwards, I assume, he's owning 42% of CBS leagues. So he's not exactly out there on all waiver wires. Can you cancel? Is this game going to get canceled? Because 4 more guys have COVID today, and it's getting very messy, and we got a Thanksgiving game in 2 days. B, like if you have $11 left and you're 7-4, how much of it do you spend on Gus Edwards if he's out there?
So, well, Adam Schefter just recently tweeted and said that if they get another round of cases, that it could be pushed back.
Blech.
So, yeah, I think the NFL's going full steam ahead. Like, screw it. You can have 30 players. We're going to make you play your game, especially a Thanksgiving one. So I think they're going to do everything possible. But
right,
it sounds like
also, didn't they play the Cowboys last week too?
Who?
The Ravens? No, the Cowboys were on bye. Never mind. Someone played someone. I forget. Never mind.
You're talking about 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, maybe I forget. Someone who has there's so many teams with COVID, and one of them just played another team, and now it's a mess. I forget who it was.
I mean, the Ravens game they just played. Are you talking about this week or whatever? Is that would be the concern?
Yeah.
But in any case,
anyway, go.
Assuming the game plays, somebody else asked that question. Not even 7-4. They say 6-5. Like, I need to win to make sure I make it into the playoffs. And do I blow my entire fab on Gus Edwards? I said, yeah. You're getting an RB2. You have to put it this way. I mean, you don't blow your entire fab if you're not going to start him. But if he's going to be your best RB2, then you have to. Of course, Justice Hill could ruin everything. Lamar Jackson might himself. Maybe the offense just can't do anything like it had. I mean, it's been really struggling offense this year, worse than we thought it would be, even with regression. But you do have to take that opportunity.
Let me read to you from the book of Gus Edwards.
The book of Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards has had 8 games with 16-plus carries in his entire career. Most of them obviously coming in the last 3. 5.06 yard per carry average in games in which he gets 16 or more carries. 6 of those 8 happened after week 11. He's had 100-yard games 4 times out of those 8 games. He had 5 career, but pretty good track record for Gus Edwards, even if you have some worries. Even when he's had some other people in the backfield, it seems like he's gotten the job done when he needs to get it done, Jake.
He's not going to be used in the passing game. That's the biggest concern.
Hey. Right?
Hey, what?
I don't know. Hey, Gooners. Hi.
No. I thought you were saying hey to my response. I didn't know.
No, sorry. I was saying hey to Suleiman. Suleiman? I think that's how you say it. That's how I would say it.
Suleiman?
From a Fernando.
Suleiman?
Shoot us your pronunciation in the comments. Dan, he's got a question for you, Jake. Is that a Mando shirt joke?
Yeah. No, it's not a joke. Mandalorian shirt.
All right. Let's get some questions. Nick D.
I've won this one before on the Pat Show.
Jake, you haven't done it on this show, and people care about your shirts.
I actually have a document of the shirts I wear on Pat's show, Joe's show, and this show to like make sure I don't double up in the year.
You have issues, and I didn't even realize I was wearing a white sweatshirt. So that's where we're at. Jake, would you trade DK for Swift and Godwin right now? I dropped my pen. Be right back.
I'm waiting for you to come back. I was looking at the rest of it. Julio,
Nick's got a
AJ
pretty
Brown,
good team here, man.
Gio, and Carson.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. The Tampa Bay schedule is great. Godwin looks like he's going to be the one that gets his no matter what. I mean, it didn't happen till towards the end of the game, but he got his, and he's getting his, and they got a great schedule, and then you get a running back. So I don't want to give up DK Metcalf, but you're getting to wide receivers that not much of a drop-off. He is a drop-off from DK Metcalf, but you're also getting Swift.
It's just interesting to me. Yeah, so you got a guy who Mixon's done, so you got Gio who's going to be starting. Carson should be back.
I would assume we're starting Swift over Gio going forward if he's over his concussion.
He's back. Yeah, and then you're also getting a guy with a broken finger who is in a weird offense right now, which should be high powered.
Seems fine.
All right, that's a thumbs up from JAKEY. Let's go to Mini Jordan 718. I used to be
no. Yeah. This is not the ranking show. That's the Thursday show.
No Thursday show this week, Jake.
So I know, but I don't even have the rankings out yet.
All right, I'll do this. Choose a flex. AB, I assume that means Antonio Brown. Sharp more, you got to go Deontay Johnson. The dude's getting double-digit targets every game.
Yeah, I thought it was two. I thought it was choose a flex and just choose a flex. Yeah, I'll answer Deontay Johnson. It's not even a question about it.
Here's a good question, Jake. Making the playoffs. This is from Malachi Constant. Making the playoffs with a bye. How much do I spend on the Cleveland DST? That's a lot of money to have left in Fab too.
Yeah,
Chris Vaccaro went on a rant the other day about not holding on to your Fab.
I don't know what you're waiting for at this point with you. Your Fab. I don't know, but see this thing. I don't include Fab in the waivers because I don't know what the rest of the league has. I don't know how, but you know your league, so I won't tell you how much to spend. But I'll tell you that you should be picking them up. They're getting up to 60% rostered across leagues because people know their schedule and they've been playing good defense. So if they're the best thing out there, you have to be somewhat aggressive. But you know your league better than anybody else. That's why I always say that because. Does your league ever spend on waivers and defenses? Then you might be able to throw out $6 and then go after Gus Edwards hard.
Yeah, but you also got to consider, this is the time of year when a lot of people, and we're doing it ourselves, come out with, the top DSTs to add for the playoffs.
Right.
So if you're playing on, ESPN and Matthew Berry has that as a section in his column, here are the top three, you could be sure everyone. But
that's what I'm saying. I don't know how much to tell you to spend. I'm agree. It's all relative to you. That's why I said at the top of the waiver column, it says it's relative. There's so many factors in how much do you have left? How bad do you need them? Does your other defense suck just for this comparison?
Yep.
Is your league aggressive? What if everybody has $50 still at this point? Then you might have to go 30. That's why. But yes, I would go after them. They should have been picked up about a week or two ago, though.
All right. Taz has a question. Tom Brady or Derek Carr?
Haven't done the rankings yet.
All right.
I'm not trying to be glib. I just haven't done them yet.
All right, hey, come back for our Imaginary Thursday show. I would go with Tom Brady. I think that offense is going to start to click. They have too much talent not to. So
Tom Brady just showed that if he's under pressure, this is the things you have to look at.
Kevin Soderling's got a question. Does Akers maybe finally?
No,
probably not going to happen.
Stop screwing around with that backfield.
Maybe Dynasty. Mini Jordan's popping back into Swift play this week. I think it was a follow-up to that trade question. I don't know. On that short week, I don't think it's going to happen, man.
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow, Wednesday.
This could be one of those Kerryon Johnson 100-and-something yard.
Or Adrian Peterson.
Thanksgiving explosions.
Adrian Peterson, like a Frank Gore, 20 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, that could be. That might be interesting. Jake, let's take a quick look at these Thanksgiving games. We promised in the title real quick, and then we'll get back to the questions. I promise. First game, Texans-Detroit. I guess we just kind of talked about that. The Texans, weird, man. I thought there would be some kind of spark when Bill O'Brien was let go, but there was not. What's the chance CJ Prosise takes over this backfield? Duke Johnson does not look good in this backfield. Jake?
Zero.
All right. Why?
Because he's not good, and Duke Johnson's at least better than him, but he's not good either.
Is he?
No, this is the same thing. This is just because you step in a replacement doesn't mean you're all of a sudden going to be good.
Okay, fine.
This is a perfect example of all those people who are like, hey, free somebody, free him. Well, there's a reason he hasn't been freed because he's not that good. They need David Johnson back.
And it's probably not going to happen. You don't go on the IR for a concussion. That does not happen a lot at all in the NFL.
Well, these days with, potentially needing the roster spot, and there's only 3 weeks for IR now.
Yeah, but still, that's a.
What's his face? The offensive lineman for the Buccaneers has been out for 3 weeks because of a concussion.
Yeah, so that's 2 out of how many IR trips and injuries and everything?
No, I'm just saying with only having 3 weeks on the IR, you could see why.
Yeah. All right.
Swift might miss his second game.
Detroit's got a lot of injuries going on. Stafford's thumb is still popping there.
Which is why I don't trust that offense.
Galladay's probably not going to play. But I mean, like, isn't this just another thing where we're like, hey, Thanksgiving Day, remember that time Marvin Jones had 140 yards and 3 touchdowns?
No, Pat Mayo's all over, what's his face, the new slot guy.
Quintus Cephas?
No, he's not the slot guy.
No.
Hold on. Let me pull it up. It's not that I just can't ever remember his name.
Come on, Jake, hurry up. We got a lot of questions pouring in.
Jamal Agnew.
Oh, all right. Hey, what's your drink of choice, by the way? Let's see it. Something looks like the helmet from 300. Nice.
It's Rain. It's
All
Rain, the watermelon.
All right.
Melon Mania. There you
go. Jakey.
It was in the rankings.
Okay. Oh, it was. In the energy drink rankings from last week. Jake, Washington, Dallas. This Antonio Gibson can't block thing did not seem to matter as he's the guy, basically, right?
Oh, I thought there was more to the question.
No, that was my first question.
Yes.
Would you rather have Antonio Gibson or Ezekiel Elliott if you're filling out a daily lineup? Right?
Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
What did we say on Thursday's show last week? Buy window closed. Done. That was your opportunity. Ezekiel Elliott. Done.
If you're doing a Thanksgiving Day only lineup, I know NFFC has one actually. Vaquero said they got some cheap options. If you don't feel like doing DraftKings, I guess. Andy Dalton, what do you think? I mean, there's some really excellent quarterback choices you could have, and you could really make a case for any of them. Andy Dalton might be number 6, if you think about it.
Excellent choices. I think there's only 2 choices.
Well, there's Deshaun Watson, who's awesome.
That's it. And Ben Roethlisberger.
There's Ben Roethlisberger. There's Lamar Jackson, who could break out at any moment.
When he's running, he's not been doing nothing.
Alex Smith is just throwing 300-yard games like it's nothing.
And then nothing last week. So the problem with Alex Smith is that if they don't need to, he's not going to. He has to throw 40 times to get to 300 yards. So you have to count on the Cowboys to make this a 20-plus point game on both sides of the ball by their defense letting things up and them scoring enough. So if you believe Andy Dalton is Andy Dalton, which we talked about on last week, and that's why we said this is the opportunity to buy low on Zeke and CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, because everybody wanted to write off Andy Dalton's entire career after one bad game and going out early in a half of a game.
Yeah.
So if Andy Dalton the problem is the Washington defense, we talked about it all year long, very good defense. Andy Dalton struggles, and the Cowboys only put up 13. Alex Smith isn't going to need to throw 40 times. So I'm not trying to get cute at quarterback. I'm going with Roethlisberger or Watson, and that's it.
All right, that's fair. Maybe I'll go. But I think a bunch of people are going to go Lamar Jackson. I don't know, man. I might mess with Andy Dalton. Let's get some questions. Better wide receiver going forward, Debo or Ayuk from John DeCarlo?
If I knew he's 100%, it's Debo.
This is from a while ago. I think he's referring to your shirt. Eckler lives. Probably not. Talk to him.
Probably not this week, but next week, though.
What are you doing, man?
Designated to return.
This dude's on a horse, Umar. This is awesome. Is Washington still in the running, in your honest opinion, Jake?
For what, the division?
I guess the division. You know, the Giants are plus 325 on DraftKings in the sports book.
They're all in the running.
That's where I'm going. I'm going with the Giants.
They all have 3 wins. They're all in the running. It's just going to take going 7-9 to win the division comfortably.
Here's a question from Grant. After the big game that Goddard just had, do we anticipate it being a top 7 tight end rest of the season?
No.
All right. Where's Evan Ingram?
Because you're locking him in. He's a low-end tight end 1. At the beginning of the year, Goddard wasn't having very much consistency with Ertz out there, and Ertz is about to come back. He's a tight end 1, but top 7, that's a little bit too lofty.
Here's a little something from Dan here. I think it's maybe.
I don't know why everybody's doing this Kittle thing. He said he wants to come back.
Inside Injuries actually said he might be able to, but I mean, it's week 15. I think he'd be
Yeah, it's week 15. Are you going to play? I mean, I know it's Kittle, but are you going to play him in your first game in the playoffs? And then second part of it is, why would the 49ers let him come back?
Let's take a look at the tight ends real quick on Thanksgiving Day. You want to start?
I'm waiting for you. Are you going to take this question down?
I see Hawkinson. I see Schultz. Oh, I'm sorry, it's blocking your nipples. Hawkinson, Schultz, Andrews. I'm not going to mess with Pittsburgh. I'm probably not going to mess with Washington. And Jordan Wilkins, interesting for the Texans.
Oh, Jordan Akins?
Jordan Akins, I mean. Wow. Drink!
Jordan Wilkins? Well, I don't. Is there like?
Would you care to comment on that group of people I just named, or?
I mean, Andrews is the number 1 wide receiver for the Ravens. I don't know. Why wouldn't you mess with anybody from Pittsburgh? Eric Ebron's touchdown or bust, just like all of them.
Yeah, well, the bust part, actually.
Yeah. I think Hawkinson, if there's no Galladay, is the number 1.
I would trust Pittman.
Yeah, read the waiver column.
All right. Okay, that's it. There you go. Actually, is Nando planning to check the link tomorrow? Yes?
Midnight.
I always check the link.
Midnight. Stop putting up rankings questions.
I don't know, Jake. I'm looking at them. I'm just clicking all of them now.
Well, read them quickly and then put them up there.
Jake, this is Umar's.
It's not. It's take them down. This is why you don't read first. No, stop.
I don't know what's going on, Jake. Someone help Umar, please.
Nobody cares.
All right, Jake. Rank Gio, Duke Johnson, Leonard Fournette this week.
The rankings aren't out.
Rankings will be up tonight, Lawrence. We'll have to check that one out. Okay, come on. Here's an interesting one. I actually think AJ Green, in the same way that Michael Thomas got 1 billion targets, I think AJ Green's going to be the guy who gets 1 billion targets with Burrow out. I think he's going to be the safety bet. I think he's going to be the big target safety valve who goes up and says, listen, whoever the quarterback is, because I hear that they're not naming a quarterback, like explicitly not naming a starter yet. I could see AJ Green being like, just give me the ball, man. Like, I'm solid.
The same AJ Green who refused to come back last year because Ryan Finley was that quarterback and this team was trash.
He was worried about his own health.
He didn't want to come back to this crap team. I don't know. Tyler Boyd had a giant game. Brandon Funston brought this up on the waiver column yesterday, or waiver podcast yesterday. Tyler Boyd had a huge game with Finley. He had a good game with Finley, and then he had 1 goose egg. But that was with no AJ Green and no T. Higgins. So I don't know who it's going to be. I would actually lean on Tyler Boyd because he's the slot easier guy to get open quicker.
Fair. What are your feelings on 2-week matchups during the playoffs? I like him and I don't like him, Jake. I don't know.
I don't like him because it means you have to start your playoffs in week 13 and there's a bye, or you go into week 17. I just don't. I understand why people want to do it because you avoid some of the risk. Just do what I do in my home league.
Yeah.
There's no matchups. The top 2 scores advance to play the people in the buys, and then the top 2 scores advance for that to play in the championship game. Don't play matchups in the playoffs.
Yeah, don't. It's silly.
No, I know people like to see the matchups and be like, haha, I beat you. But once you get to the playoffs, that's the one time where the best teams should have, like, you don't want to watch the playoffs and have one side, the guy wins 90 to 80 and the other one loses 145 to 150.
Sure you do. I mean, that comes around though. People have been in these leagues for 12, 15 years. It all kind of shakes out in the end, Jake.
But it happens a lot in the playoffs.
Luck is luck,
Exactly. So top 2 scores.
That's why we have jobs, Jake. People need to
top
come
2
to you
scores.
and be like, week 14 advice, Jake, please.
Top 2 scores.
Matty Ice is ruining me. Do I roll? So
he couldn't have checked the link because the rankings aren't out yet.
I think he means last week, maybe every week. It's a rest of season question.
I would just play matchups with the 2 of them.
All right.
Matt Ryan and Jared Goff.
Get Wentz out of there, right?
He's just been terrible.
All right, let's see. We got some
he's
DST.
He's killing my boy.
Philip, we're going to have you check the link. Theathletic.com/cheat sheet gets you a very
Stop throwing those up there.
It's Paulie P. Paul's the man. Here's a good question. I haven't even read it. I just saw Paul's name up there. What's up, Paul? Happy Thanksgiving, boys. Unless Dak and Burrow have Tannehill, any chance Minshew returns? That's a good question, Jake.
I don't know. I said it in the waiver column that he should. If he doesn't, this team is clearly tanking. There's zero reason for Jake Luton to be at quarterback.
Man, there was a 4.5 over-under on Jacksonville. I went over.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I did like $5 instead of the usual $3. Feel bad.
Well, at least you only lost $5.
It was before like Fournette was released and everybody opted out, and then when D.D. Westbrook was before his 5 inactives in a row.
Did you? I'm not. This is gonna be like, oh, do you? I know because you didn't edit it. Did you see the tweet that I included in the waiver column about how bad Winston's killing my boy Fulgham? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't read your column yet today, Jake. I'm a busy guy. I got a lot of stuff.
So the concern that I had about Fulgham for people asking about him and that is he droppable, and if you need help, you don't just drop him because you're ticked off, but if you need help. So the concern with Fulgham was that he was going to be treated as the number 1 by defenses.
Yep.
And here's the stat for you, Nando, from Sport Radar. Catchable pass percentage for Fulgham from weeks 4 through 8, 68.2%. The last 2 weeks, 16.7. And for comparison, Rager's at 67, Ward's at 80, Goddard's at 83, and Rodgers at 87. Carson Wentz is throwing trash towards Fulgham.
That sucks.
It does.
That's unfortunate. But what do?
You might have to drop him just like Hollywood Brown.
Well, Jake, I got screwed out of a Fulgham autograph rookie card. Well, technically you did because I was going to send it to you.
I know.
And the guy won't even refund my $5 on eBay now. So.
Oh, wow. You should report him.
I'm going to. I gave him
Good.
2 months to make.
I got Beller and Funston to admit that they're actually on board with me dropping Hollywood Brown after they vehemently disagreed with me on the Sunday show.
Stay tuned this Sunday. We're going to talk Dynasty, by the way. Jeff Haverlack's going to come on and talk Dynasty a little bit, too.
Nice.
Get excited. James Conner tomorrow. David Montgomery on Sunday. Ah, man. I was looking at James Conner's stats today during the show with Chris Vaccaro. His numbers aren't bad. It's just he was really good at the start, and he's kind of tailed off now. I think there's still
two bad games. He had 2 bad games in a row. The concerning thing with Conner is this past game, this one that he just had. Good game. He was looking great. What happened? Vultured again by Benny Snell. Benny Snell is the goal-to-go guy. So I'm still going with Conner, but David Montgomery is actually the better floor of the two, which is crazy to say, just because of the volume.
We got offered David Montgomery in a dynasty league. My partner Danny and I. I don't think we're saying yes. I told him everybody's down on Montgomery. He's like, who's down on Montgomery? He's 23 and he's awesome. So people still believe in David Montgomery, Jake.
He's not awesome.
This is a good question that I wanted to follow up with you.
No.
I think so.
No, it's the same question. Somebody asked this in the rankings column. No, they just proved it. It's match up who you're facing. That was still a great match. There was a reason the Browns just went off is because the rest of it's one player. I understand it's one Hall of Fame potential player, like if he continues to play this way, but at the same time, it's one player. Like Aaron Donald would be a big loss for the Rams.
Yeah.
The Rams defense wouldn't be terrible.
But it wouldn't be the same.
It would take a little bit of a hit.
We got to follow up on your Fulgham.
I said it in the waiver column. Unfortunately, yes.
Exactly. For Pittman is exactly what you said.
That's one of the most common ones, yes.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Margot. Here's a great question. Any intrigue in Malcolm?
No,
Perry?
Myles Gaskins is coming back.
Are you sure, Jake?
I'm positive.
All right. By the way, this week, where Virginia noted, we asked her the question, but she also agreed that Tua, his foot might have actually been, but they might have pulled him out of caution a little bit because he had that foot injury around this time last week that no one was talking about for some reason because he practiced in full and they didn't make a big deal out of it. But you can't tell me some dude has a foot injury in the middle of the week, decides not to run anymore, gets pulled from the game early.
Weren't you the one bringing up the injury?
Yeah.
That we were trying to search it and couldn't find it anywhere?
Here's your answer, Lawrence. Yeah, I think, dude, I'm telling you, man, he's good. It's the foot. Now's the time to buy low in Dynasty, I guess, if people are worried.
In Dynasty?
And maybe even regular season.
No, because if the foot's still bothering him, the upside of Tua is the fact that he's going to run. If you look at his passing, it's not that great. And especially because they're somewhat what they're doing with this offense is throwing kind of a West Coast-ishness to it. And that's why Preston Williams was struggling because he doesn't fit a West Coast offense. So if they continue with that, you're worried about Tua only throwing 200 yards a game. And then if he's not running, where are you going to go?
Daniel Jones. It's back to Daniel Jones, Jake.
I wasn't saying another quarterback. I'm just saying he's essentially turning into Cam Newton without the rushing.
Out of context, this is funny.
Cool.
I don't know what he's referring to. Oh, Jake. Here's another one from Nick D. PPR, would you trade Boyd and Darrell Henderson for A-Rob? Yeah, I'd say yes.
Yeah. When are you ever going to start Henderson?
Kamara Sanders. I'd like to see his third running back.
Even so, when are you starting Henderson? You can't start anybody in that backfield.
Man, you might have to. There's a question up here. Hold on, let me find this.
No, you don't have to.
Here from Mike Rivers. Cordero now designated as a running back post-bye. Which, Jake, by the way, I want to ask you in a second about Taysom Hill's ESPN eligibility because people are losing their minds over it.
No, Cordero was the guy. It was no Ryan Nall, no Artavis Pierce, but he's still, what was it, 9 carries or something? It's David Montgomery.
If he comes back.
If he comes back, they've proved. But 10 carries maybe from Cordell Patterson? Maybe.
If I was this guy.
If your running backs are that bad that you have to have Patterson as your number 2, what the hell happened to you this year?
I just realized I've been saying Riken Rivers. It's probably Rican Rivers, like Puerto Rican Phillip Rivers, right?
Okay, sure.
That's how Rican.
Okay.
Let us know. Is it Rican?
Let us know.
Yeah, well, just drop a comment. You're obviously watching the show. I would start picking up CJ Procise, Dante Foreman. Like I would start getting some of these guys who are backups to players who have clear
If only,
bell cow jobs.
if only somebody ranked all the backups in their waiver column this week
Did you do that?
with genie emojis.
I'm gonna have to
because Aladdin rules, and they could be your wish.
That's funny. That's the only way he wins. He was talking about the playoffs.
Okay, cool.
Continue, Jake. I'm sorry.
No,
It
whatever.
was an Aladdin reference. I was listening.
Go ahead, continue.
All right, let's talk about this Taysom Hill thing really quickly because I was reading Reddit last night. The comment section was on fire. People were like digging up their policy and saying like it doesn't state this in the policy, and then they added an asterisk. And look, I've been through this before. I was at CBS when Victor Martinez was coming back, and he shouldn't have had
Catcher.
Yeah, and we actually were split in the newsroom about what he should have, and a lot of people complained about it, like pretty not nice ways. Actually, I got a story for that about one of your boys. So anyway, point is, Jake, it's a tough call to make, but I don't know if it might be the right call, it might not be, but I don't know if you can let people have him for a week with that tight end eligibility and then take it away because they might have spent a lot of money if you were like, okay, he's going to be a tight end. I can use him as tight end here and there. He has this amazing game, and then he doesn't. I don't know where I fall on this. It seems like this is both fair and unfair. How do you follow this, Jake?
100%. Let me. So I'll phrase it to you this way. Let me ask you a question first. In your opinion, what position does Taysom Hill play?
It's quarterback.
Okay. Spirit of the game. I am 100% spirit of the game. I'm 100%. I'm in my car, 1250. I can't get the site to load. Can you make a switch for me in my lineup? Yeah, sure. No problem. Spirit of the game. You know, what are we doing here? We're playing fantasy.
Yeah.
And we're playing fantasy to win. I understand that. But we're doing so still in the spirit of the game. Made the comparison. Remember the game genie?
Yeah.
You used the game genie to beat a game. Did you really beat the game? No, you beat it with a cheat. And let's be honest, I used the game genie for some games just because I was lazy. I didn't feel like going through. You beat it with a cheat.
Thank you for that reveal.
Taysom Hill at tight end was a cheat. He should have never been allowed there in the first place, even though ESPN last week, and you spent all that money. For the spirit of the game, we all know he's a quarterback. He shouldn't last week. Commissioners should not have allowed him to be the tight end, just like when Marquise Colston was tight end eligible. If you wanted to let it happen, that's fine. That's your decision. I don't agree with it. But you can play how you want to play. But the spirit of the game, we know he's a quarterback. He is a quarterback only. They switched it back this week. If you still have a problem with it, then whatever. Too bad. You want to win with a cheat? Go win with a cheat.
I can't wait to see where you rank him this week.
Taysom Hill at quarterback?
Yeah.
Same way I ranked him last week, 14-15.
All right. Sneak preview of that. Check out Jake's ranks.
He's usable. He's Cam Newton. He's Cam Newton. If he doesn't run for a second touchdown last week, he's not a top 10 quarterback. He ranked around 14-15. So do you want to risk Cam Newton? Then risk Taysom Hill. They're essentially the same. And that's the thing. That's actually what I brought up last Thursday, or wait, was it Wednesday? Whatever show that we were doing. I said, where would you rank? Oh, no, it was the Sunday show. I said, where would you rank Cam Newton if he was at tight end? Number one, not even a question. But is that fair? Not really. No, it's not in the spirit of the game.
I like that, Jake, especially around the holiday season. We were right. He's Puerto Rican. It's not Rican Rivers. It's Rican Rivers. Good luck. Let's leave you off with this one, Jake, because I know you got to go. We did a half-hour show. Non-PPR, better side, just rest of the yams or mashed potatoes, Jake. Remember, rest of the season, next day, you're going to have some poops.
I'm not a big mashed potato guy. And my mom makes she actually makes more like the candied yams with like the syrup, cooked crust yams, sliced thin, that type of stuff.
All right.
So
that's your answer?
Yeah.
All right. No show Thursday. Sorry, everybody. It's Thanksgiving.
What's your favorite side dish?
Who are you talking to? Me or are you asking Kevin?
You.
I don't know, Jake. Asparagus I really like.
Really?
It kind of offsets the heaviness of everything.
Speaking of the next day, smell your piss.
No, that's the day of, Jake. That's what reminds me.
Oh, I don't eat asparagus.
Well,
stay tuned to check the link. I will rank my side dishes for Thanksgiving.
Actually, DVR has something coming up too in his Thanksgiving.
I know, that's why I'm not answering it.
Okay, Jake, thanks for letting the rest of us know.
No, I'm saying because I'm going to have my rankings in the column.
All right, that's cool. I like that. I appreciate that. By the way, DVR put something like French silk pie in there as one of the pies. I have no idea what it is. Never heard of it before in my life.
Is it like a sheet?
No, it's like chocolate. So I ranked it number 4 out of 13 because it just sounded delicious. And now I got to go find some.
Awesome.
We got to go. Thank you all for joining us. Have a have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Enjoy it. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Jake, enjoy yours. Enjoy not having asparagus, I guess.
No, I'm not a vegetable guy.
Enjoy the games. You have no excuse not to be up from 12:30 until 12:30, basically watching these things.
Well, unless the night game doesn't happen.
Yeah, unless that. Well, you might be. Yeah, that's true. You might, but 8 o'clock. Watch some Christmas DVDs or something.
I was gonna say, are you a parade guy?
Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Hate parades.
That's weird. To our Canadian friends who are watching, enjoy just a regular Thursday. Have fun with it. We'll talk to you later, everybody. It's Jakey and Nando, The Athletic. Go to theathletic.com/cheat sheet for discount. Bye.